So we're still continuing with our project where we stopped. So let us continue. Let us pick from where we stopped. So if you're joining, you're welcome. We're just working mesh stitch, placing a double crochet in every space right there. So let's continue working on our shrug. You can see that it's growing. So stay tuned as you watch the process, and also if you are recreating this. So we have only few rows remaining, and then we'll be able to start working on the sleeves. So if you're joining for the first time, you're welcome. This is Fancy Crochet. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you have not. Yeah, all that. So today we are working on a shrug, and we began in our previous live recording. You can check it out. And now this is the second part where we are continuing with where we had stopped. So if you're new here, you are highly welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Kindly subscribe if you have not, share the live, like the video, and also go watch my other videos. So now today we are working on this beautiful shrug right here, and we've made quite some progress because we're almost done with the back panel and also the front panel. So as you watch the process, comment below there and let me know where you're watching from. But sometimes placing the last double crochet on the chain 3 might be a little tricky, but make sure that you get it so that your work will be well aligned and will be neat. So if it's your first time here, let me know in the comment section. You can just say hi and let me know where you're watching from. If you don't mind, I'm glad to have you all here. Kindly subscribe if you have not. Share the live. And also so let's count the number of rows that we've worked so far and know what is remaining, so that from there we can know what it. This is the, let's say, the back panel and the front panel right here. So we worked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 rows of the mesh stitch. And now for this second one right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are on the 10th row. So we have 3 more rows to go, and then we'll be able to start working on the sleeves part. So you ought to just stick around and watch how we are going to start working on the sleeves. Okay, guys, comment below there and let me know where you're watching from, if you don't mind. So we have only 3 rows to go. Yeah, just 3. And then we'll be done with both front and the back panel. So if you have any question concerning how we began working on this shrug, you can check out my video. There's a recording there, a live recording with the part 1 where I began from scratch, from the beginning, and then you'll get to know how to work, how you can work on yours if you want to. So stay tuned as we watch the process. And this is the second last row that we are making. And I just want us to begin the sleeves together, so just stay a little bit so that you can know how to work on the sleeves, how to start and how to continue working on the sleeves. So chain 3, turn your work. The first place, double crochet into the next space, double crochet into the next space, just like that. Double crochets into the next space, just one double crochet into each space. So we are placing double crochets into every space. We are not working on top of the stitches, so we are working on the spaces, and this is just very easy to follow if you wish to recreate one. So you can definitely try this out and just see how it turns out. So if you're joining and it's your first time here, you're highly welcome. I'm glad to have you here and would wish you to be part of this family of fancy crochet. So subscribe kindly, share the live, you can like. You can also watch my other videos, support my work. You can also place your orders. I have my numbers and my other social media platforms like the Facebook. I go by the name Fancy. Now we are almost at the end. So we'll be working our last row. Guys, just look at this. We are on our last row. You won't believe this. Oh my goodness, we are on our last row. So stay tuned, guys, and check how we are going to turn these beautiful stitches into something magnificent, because it's definitely transforming as time goes by. So you can double tap your screen to like the live if you don't mind. I'll really appreciate you all. So this is our last row for the double crochet, for the mesh stitch, and I'll be showing you what we are going to do next. So remember how we began our first row. We began after the foundation chain. We began with a row of single crochet, as you can see it there. So now we must end this other panel with another row, with a row of single crochet. So now that is what we are going to do next. Since we've already attained the measurement that we wanted, the panel are identical, both panels are identical. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 on that side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 on this side. So now we are going to chain 1 and then turn our work just like that, and then work a row of single crochet just like this one right here. So this is where we started our work, and it has the single crochet row. So now we are going to finish up this side with a single crochet. So after chaining 1, you place a single crochet on the space, a single crochet on top of the double crochet that we were making, a single crochet on the space, single crochet on the on top of the double crochet, single crochet on the space. So just like that. So we are working single crochets on the spaces and on top of the double crochets that we were making. So 1 single crochet in every place, so in every space and in every top of our double crochets. So let's work up to the end of this row, and then we'll be able to see what to do next. So we are towards the end. Hi, how are you? So this is how it looks like after working a row of single crochet. So now that's it. So now you bring this panel to the other side like this. You bring the panels together and then place a single crochet, a slip stitch, sorry, a slip stitch on top of the first row. So just like that, and then we are done. So let me cut off my yarn at that point. Just like that. Let me leave a little bit of the yarn so that we can work. So now for the other side, we're going to cut a yarn and place so we're going to cut a little bit of the yarn. Let me cut a considerable length, and then place it right here. You just got to be careful. Then tighten it just like this. Make sure that you place at least 2 or 3 knots so that it doesn't come off. So now this is our project so far. This is how it looks like. You can see how beautiful it is. The patterns on it, the stitches on it. So now the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to work on this row right here. So I'll get my darning needle and place my yarn right there. And then work on this first row. So I'll work up to this point. You see the first row of this mesh stitch. So that is where we are going to work. That is the point where we are going to finish our working. So just place a single, you're just using your darning needle. You can decide to work using your hook, but I prefer this because it's going to be a little bit tight. So just like that, and then we make sure that it's well secured. Sorry, it just came off. So whatever you've done on this side, now go do that on the other side. I think that's it. We've joined both ends. Don't worry about the loose ends, we are gonna cut them later. So fasten it and make sure that it's tight and doesn't come off. So on the other side, we are going to do exactly same. I cut longer yarn on this side, but it's okay. So now we are going to work the same way we did for the first row of mesh stitch. So just like this, and then we make sure that it's tight. So make sure that your rows are well aligned. Yeah, just like that. So it's very neat. You can see how it looks like. This is the part that will fall on the armpit. So we gotta make sure that it's neat. Give it a professional look and give it a fancy look, just like our name. So we can leave it at this point. So just fasten the two ends. And then we can cut off the yarn, a little bit of it, just to leave the darning needle with a small yarn. So now that's how your work looks like. And the next thing that we are going to do, you can see it's so beautiful on this side. So the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to turn it inside out, because this is the inside part. Now we turn it inside out, just like that. And then we are going to begin working on our sleeves, and this is how we are going to do it. So grab your yarn as usual, make a slip knot like this. Guys, you can double tap on your screen and give me a like if you don't mind. So we form a slip knot right there, and then you see now this is where we placed this is the first row that we placed, we knitted it together. So we are going to start on the next row. So you attach your yarn there, just like that. Make sure that it's tight. You can remove the hook and tighten it a little bit. So now you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. After chaining 4, you're going to place double crochet. So this is our first row of the sleeve, and this is how we're going to work it. So you place double crochet on the next row, chain 1, place another double crochet on the space right there on the next row, chain 1, double crochet on the next row, chain 1. So just like that, we are placing double crochets on every row. Okay, I hope you get it. If you are following this and you are recreating this, also place the double crochets in every row. Until you get to the end of it, where you began placing 4 chain 4. So we're just working round and round. And don't forget, if you are not here, we are using this robin chunky yarn, and it's the fingering yarn, so that's why I'm doubling the strands. And of course I'm using a 6.5 millimeter hook if you are not here when we began. So work your double crochets until you get to the very end where you started by placing a chain of 4. And don't forget to separate your double crochets with a chain 1. So after you work so now this is the last row, and we are going to place our last double crochet right there. Then now chain 1 and place a slip stitch on top of the chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is where we are going to place our slip stitch, just like that. And that is the end of our first row. So you can see that our work has changed direction. These ones are upwards and this one is on the side. I hope you understand what I mean. Now chain 3, so 1, 2 and 3, then turn your work. So from now onwards we are going to be turning our work. So now for the second row, we are going to start right here on this space. And remember we chained 3 and not 4. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. Then that is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next space, a double crochet into the next one, double crochet into the next, double crochet into the next space, double crochet into the next. So just like that, we are working our double crochets as usual. And when we get to the end, I'll show you how we are going to work it, because this row is quite different from the first one. At the beginning, at the start and at the at the start of the row and also at the end of the row. So there's a slight difference, and I'll definitely be showing you how we are working. Hi White, how are you? So now we are coming to the end of this row, and when you get to this point, we are placing our last double crochet right here, and then without chaining one, you slip stitch on top of the chain 3 that you made at the beginning. Just like that. So you can see we have 3 double crochets without a chain in between. So now you chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, then turn your work. So for round 3, we are chaining 4, turning our work, and then begin our double crochet in the next stitch. So we work all around until we get to the end. Then I'll be showing you how to work on the next one. So make sure that you work 1 double crochet in every space. So and also chain 1 after every double crochet. So now we're almost coming to the end of this row. We're placing our last double crochet right there, and then chain 1 and place a slip stitch on top of the chain 4 that we did at the beginning. So now this is what I was saying. You can see this is where we began changing our direction. So this is the first, the second, and the third row. So the second row looks like the fourth row that now we want to work next, and the third row will look like the fifth. The fifth row will look like the third row. So let's work the fourth row by chaining 3, turning our work, and then begin at the same point right there. So don't forget to separate your double crochets with a chain 1. So we are almost coming to the end of row 4. So now we are placing our last double crochet right there. Then without chaining one, we place a slip stitch on top of the chain 3 that we made at the beginning. So just like that. Then now we chain 4, turn our work, and then begin our double crochet in this space. So that is our last double crochet. Now we place a slip stitch. We chain 1 and place a slip stitch on top of chain 4. So now this is what we are doing. You can see our first row there, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So row 5 looks like row 3, and row 2 looks like row 4. So we are just going to repeat row 2 and row 3. So this is what we are just going to repeat until we get the length that we desire. So you're going to chain 3. Row 6 looks like row 2 and 4. So we chain 3 and turn our work and then begin working on our double crochets. So we work our double crochets all around, and when we get to the end, we work our last double crochet, and without chaining one, we place a slip stitch on top of the chain 3, chain 4, and begin the next row. When we come to the end of that row, we chain 1 and slip stitch on top of the chain 4. So I hope you've gotten it. That's how we are working the sleeve until we get to the length that we desire to have. So now we've gotten to the end. We place our last double crochet right there, and then without chaining one, we place a slip stitch on top of the chain 3, just like that. Then chain 4, turn our work and start working our double crochets. And now we chain 3 and turn our work and start working our double crochets right there. So we place our last double crochet right there, and without chaining one, we slip stitch on top of the chain 3, and chain 4, turn our work. So now we chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn our work, then continue working our double crochets, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, just like that. Angel, how are you? So we're still making our progress, and this is how far we have gone. You can see our sleeve right there. So I said this is the armpit area, and now this is the sleeve right here. Hi, Angel Maria. How are you?